Oh, what's up, guys? This is Snapshot Takes Football Podcast. I'm your host, Diego.
Your boy Javi.
Tell them a bit about what's going on, what we doing.
Alright. So like Diego said, welcome to Snapshot Takes. We'll be talking about the top 5 leagues, all the news and all the fixtures coming up and our predictions and whatnot. And hopefully be able to interact with the fans for however much fans we got at the moment. But hopefully everybody's here for the long run and stick around. So I guess we start talking about top 5 leagues now.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the, what you want to start, the Prem first?
Let's start with the Prem first.
I feel like it's the most interesting, get you guys interacted.
For sure.
So we actually started a bit late. We were trying to start from the beginning, but we had a little technical difficulties. So
By technical difficulties, Diego means the computer
that's
he
too
had.
much, that's too much. They don't need to know that. So
Alright, so we start off with the reigning champions.
they won their 3 games.
Yeah.
They had a tough challenge of playing 10 men against Newcastle away. Oh no, they were.
Well, Newcastle was the one with 10,
men.
but
Yeah,
it seemed like Liverpool were the one playing with 10. Not gonna lie.
They struggled.
Yeah, no, it was. Although Liverpool has won their 3 games, I feel like there is a bit of struggle just because I feel like we have a good amount of new players that still have to adapt. You know, so starting off with 3 wins before the international break, I say is pretty good.
And before the international break, they signed Isak. Even though I honestly think what's his name?
Ekitike.
He was doing pretty solid. He scored in what, all 3 games?
I think
2 games?
I think he scored in every game he's in, or gave an assist, one or the other.
Honestly, he's looked pretty solid. The only issue I see with Liverpool right now is they don't have a proper left winger.
It's tough because I mean, Liverpool still have Cody Gakpo, but the thing is, it just seems like Cody Gakpo sometimes plays the game in slow motion. Like, he's good, don't get me wrong, he's great, he's a great player, but it's hard because now we have 2 starting strikers, and what are you gonna play? A 4-4-2 is kind of impossible with the players you got.
Especially with Salah. You know how Salah is.
Exactly. It's
How you see, I feel like also a big issue of Gakpo is Gyökeres. Well, against Arsenal, he played fairly well, but I feel like Arteta's game plan was bad that game. I feel like he went too many defensive midfielders. Every other game that left back role hasn't looked solid. I feel like you guys have gotten attacked a lot from that side.
I mean, give it to Arteta. It's still a working plan, right?
As well, I also see that midfield looks solid, but I feel like McAllister also not being 100% fit has played a big impact. But you guys do look solid for moments, but it seems like you guys just lose yourself somewhere throughout the game.
I know right now Liverpool's left back issue and left wing issue is kind of the main concerns at the moment, I'd say.
Interesting. Who's their next feature coming up after? Oh, they got Burnley away, and then Champions League throughout the week, but that's for a separate video. So second place Chelsea with 7 points, so they're 2 points behind.
Yeah, Chelsea got 2 wins, 1 draw.
Nice.
Since the Club World Cup, they've actually looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit scary to see.
Midfield duo of Enzo and Caicedo is just amazing.
Man.
And you know, this last game, Palmer actually got hurt, and they didn't need him. That young kid, Gustavo, what's his name? Gustavo, he looks solid.
He's a great player,
And
great.
João Pedro is like, he's been playing there for years. He slid right in, looking real solid, being impactful, getting a GA every game he's played.
Honestly, I mean, since he started in the Club World Cup and just been going crazy since then, huh? That's crazy. He's honestly a solid player. Like,
especially, did you hear about that news with Jackson and Dillap?
No, I did not. What happened there?
So Jackson on the deadline day, well, the day before the deadline day, they were gonna sell him or loan him out to Bayern.
Oh,
and then
yeah, but
they canceled it last minute. Yeah, they canceled it last minute. It still went through, but it's crazy. But yeah, Chelsea look pretty solid.
I know I'm jumping ahead, but it's just kind of like what happened with Crystal Palace with that defender.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting going to Liverpool.
Everything was perfect. Everything was signed. Everything was ready. That man, I think he went to go do his medical at Liverpool. And then what happened?
The manager said that he was going to walk out if he didn't have another proper center back to replace him.
That's tough.
That's
really tough.
That must be tough as well for the player, especially you're moving to a big club. That's a big upgrade.
Imagine how he's feeling at the moment.
But at the end of the day, you'll love to play for a manager that has that much confidence in you, that he's willing to risk his job, potentially not get another job after doing something like that with the board.
I guess. But
someone's biased.
It's just tough because you're expecting one of the biggest moments of your career. I'm not saying Crystal Palace isn't a good team. They've definitely been on the come up, but to block a move to arguably the best team in the Premier League at the moment because they're the reigning champions, and to be set back is just crazy. I wonder how he feels. I mean, he's dealt with everything in a professional manner, so I know he'll still probably give his best to Crystal Palace this season, but I know that's going to be lingering in the back of his head for sure. Going back to the Chelsea topic, you think they end up in the top 4 this season?
I honestly do, just because of it's kind of too early to say, but they have a lot of depth. But I feel like the Champions League now, like last year during the Conference League, they would rest a lot of their star players because they were first tier 3 teams, so it wasn't a struggle for them. So they won that confidently. But you saw what they did to PSG.
Yep.
It looked crazy. Like Maresca seems like he's doing a good job over there with the players he got. You know, as long as they could stay healthy, then I see them. It's because that midfield, man, I give them praise. They look solid.
Their midfield is really solid, and their attacking force at the moment pretty good. I mean, I know they haven't really shown it so far in the Prem at this starting, but they're gonna pick up. I know that for sure. They drew with Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but
Crystal Palace.
I mean, they almost beat Liverpool.
Yeah,
in the
that's what I'm saying. Crystal Palace is nothing to mess around with.
That's before letting go of Eze, though.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting. Talking about Eze. Moving on to third, his new club, Arsenal.
2 wins and 1 loss.
Arsenal, the injuries that are piling up on Arsenal are crazy this early in the season. First game against Manchester United.
Who have they lost?
They lost to Liverpool.
I mean, like injuries.
They lost Saliba.
I know they lost to Liverpool.
They lost Saka. It's the second game they lost Saka. Odegaard picked up a shoulder injury. He did play the last few minutes against against Liverpool. And back to what I was saying, Arteta's game plan is terrible. As soon as he comes on, Arsenal just picked up, and Eze came on, Arsenal just picked up like a second life. Like you could see the draw potentially coming. But Arteta he plays with 3 CDMs. You're playing with Declan Rice, Marino, and Zubimendi. So you're playing with three defensive guys. Gyökeres doesn't look as great, especially playing with those 3 CDMs. You can't really filtrate. He's a run behind the back type of attacker.
Why do I feel like Arteta's trying to be like the Simeone of the Premier League for some second place looking nice?
I don't think they get second place this year, honestly. I feel like there's way more competition this year than previous years. Last year, City really dropped off. Not looking great this year either, but it's just 2 games in. But it's going to be
3 games.
Oh, yeah, 3 games.
Yeah. City has not been off to a great start. Unfortunately.
They're in 13th place right now, Manchester City.
Yeah, no.
2 losses.
And 2 losses and 1 win.
Yeah. Next game against Man United, it's going to be a good game. Man United is still...
It's not like they've gone against top 4 teams in the first 3 games, you know. I mean, they've gone against Wolves, Tottenham, and Brighton.
Talking about Tottenham, that's the 4th place team. They're looking pretty solid.
They are looking solid. But what is up with City?
I feel like it's a transition, especially with most of their, like, influential players, as in, like, their captains leaving. De Bruyne left, Kyle Walker left. I feel like those 2 impacted the dressing room a lot.
You think Rodri not being at 100% plays a big part?
Of course, he came off a well, before his ACL tear, he was coming off a controversial Ballon d'Or win, but he was great. Like that midfield, when you have a CDM like that, it gives you
Stability.
Stability. Is that the word that I'm looking for?
I mean, he definitely gives the team stability.
Imagine you're using Nico instead of Rodri. Nico was a Barca reject basically in their worst time. You just can't replace a player like Rodri.
Honestly, and I'm not here to disrespect Pep, right? But don't you think for such a manager like Pep, he should have been able to adapt life away from Rodri if that was the case? Because as soon as Rodri was off the pitch and KDB's level dropped, it's like City just kind of, they forgot they were City. They forgot they were champions. I feel like so
that also goes back to the players that he's been focusing on getting. I feel like he focuses too much on the midfielders, but yet he still went out and bought Reinders, Cherokee. Picked up Marmouche. This is more of a winger, but I feel like a big role as well is letting Kyle Walker go. Even though he's old, he should have found a better right back. Because if you look at City, yeah, they touch the ball a lot, but most of their attacks come from the flanks and overlaps. Kyle Walker was great at doing that, but now with here Rico Lewis, I don't really see that, or Oscar Bob. I don't feel like those are
someone to replace such a big caliber like Kyle Walker.
Yeah, especially like I feel like that team, those are good rotational players, like a FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, but they're not here to play week in and week out in the Premier League.
It's not Premier Champions League ready type.
So honestly, I do see them picking up. I feel like he'll work something out, maybe moving back to that 3 center back role, maybe moving Stone. I believe Stones will do better than Nico in that midfield as a CDM. He's proven it before. But once Rodri's fully fit, I feel like he'll do what he does. You know, Pep, tactical mastermind, crazy. But talking about who they lost to, Tottenham's in 4th right now. They're looking pretty solid. That midfield looks good.
Tottenham is so weird, man.
Even though they lost their last game, but you just seen they signed Xavi Simons.
They sure did.
Proper baller.
And they signed a new striker as well, didn't they?
Colomwani.
Oh, they did get Colomwani.
Yeah, they got him on loan.
I thought, who's the team that got that one tall striker? It's like, I forgot his name, but
Tottenham. I feel like they're in the Champions League this year as well, so I don't honestly seem like that's too many games for them. That center back pairing between Kuti and Van de Ven is great, but Van de Ven is so injury prone. I feel like he's so fast and tall that his hamstrings just can't keep up with him. Like I feel like it's insane how often he gets injured.
It's hard to say anything about Tottenham. I mean, what they got? 2 wins, 1 loss so far.
Yep.
So, and it was the 2 wins against Burnley and City. They beat Manchester City 2-0. And then they go on and lose against who they lose against? Bournemouth.
So we'll talk about United, that they had an interesting summer. They signed a couple players. They signed Mbuemo. They signed Cunha. And they signed Sesko. It's three attacking options.
All that to get nowhere.
I feel like you got to give them time to adapt, especially with that role. But I feel like
they got a new goalkeeper as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did sign a new goalie.
Yeah, I heard about that. It was supposedly they were last minute gonna try to get Dibu.
Yeah,
and then that didn't work out because they got the other goalkeeper, which is crazy.
They actually just let go of Onana.
He went on loan, right?
Yeah, to some Turkey team, I believe.
Yeah, I think he went to the Turkey team. I'm not too sure, but that is crazy.
So yeah, it's interesting. Honestly, I feel like Manchester United, they're gonna end up making a push, especially when Sesko fully gets adapted. Because if you watch the 3 games that they played against Arsenal, they dominated. Mm-hmm. That team looked
That was a solid performance against Arsenal.
I believe that they were truly gonna aspire to great things, and then that game against Fulham,
right back to
last season.
To
but
the Man U we know. So
Bruno missed a crucial penalty, which he lost his head. But
for Bruno to miss a penalty, that's wild.
I feel like he let the referee get to his head, which is insane, especially that type of player with that. Like, you're the man there. People think about United right now, and you're leader. Basically the only person they think about.
Yeah, exactly.
I really don't like the Mason Mount thing they're doing. Playing him at cam, I feel like they have to move him and put Bruno there. That's where Bruno shines in the final third. Yeah. He's the creator. He's the mastermind. He has a third eye for goal-scoring opportunities. And that's why I believe that taking Mount out, and you could put Sesko there, and you got to do something. But you can't have your creative player playing a deep CM role.
Could it be that just Man U doesn't have that inspiration at the moment?
Man
U came from being the best team in the Premier League at one point to now being what they ended last season?
Like 15
to 17 plays. Who knows? Like, what has happened to that club?
Honestly, I feel like it's a whole bunch of new signings, and other than that, the players that have been there for a long time, like we could say Shaw, Dalot, Casemiro, I guess. Other than that,
from Bruno, my Man U sources, Casemiro has been doing pretty good coming back.
From his Man U sources, yeah, he has. He has looked like he's lost weight. He looks pretty solid. Honestly, I feel like their attacking three is Mbeumo, Cunha, and Mount. Honestly, you gotta take Mount out that lineup. He's not the same player he was at Chelsea, but I feel like he will. Man U are gonna shift gears. Next game is against City, so that's gonna be a nice little, I guess, reintroduction after the.
For both teams.
Yeah, because both
teams really have something to prove.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully Amorim works a little bit more and with the players he has, because he has a solid squad. It looks like on paper, he just has to get them to live up to the hype. It seems like their game plan is great. But when they actually play with courage and they want to actually get the 3 points, they look solid. But it seems like against the lower teams, they just downshift the gear. And
could it be an ego thing? Notice how a lot of teams go through something like that.
I don't think it's an ego thing. I feel like it's not a lack of talent. I feel like it's more a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
Like, they lose their head a lot. They do a lot of simple mistakes.
How long do you think Ruben... What's his name?
Amorim, yeah.
How much time do you think he has before he has to truly produce results? Because keep in mind, they lost their last game against a third division team, fourth division team, and that's a really bad look.
I feel like he'll no matter what, he'll be here the rest of the season, especially with the signings they made. You can't just
they gotta put some faith in him.
They can't just keep switching managers. This is a big club. It's rare because. Even though what they've been through, Manchester United is still top 2, top 3 in history of the Premier League. It's a great club, big club. Yeah, so definitely. You can't just be switching managers like here and there. You have to stick with somebody you can actually put your trust in. And I believe he has a good game plan, but you just have to give him time. Last year, you gave him a mid-season task. Of course, they were going to fail.
And he did say.
And at the end of the day, he did get to Europa League final. Lost it by... He barely lost it, but he got the most he could with the players he didn't want. So, give me your top 4 for the Prem, just so we wrap up the Prem convo.
For champion, I have to say, at the moment, it's still Liverpool. I feel like they don't have... Their players still haven't reached their like top potential this season. So in my opinion, Liverpool wins again. But in second place, it's definitely between Chelsea and Arsenal, in my opinion. I think those two teams are definitely gonna fight for that second place spot. So second and third is definitely between them two. If anything, I'm gonna go ahead and say Chelsea second and Arsenal third.
Who's your fourth?
For fourth, I really don't want to say City. But City, for some reason, they wake up in the second half because last season they didn't have a good start, but going towards the second half of it, they definitely picked it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and say City for fourth.
Yeah, after January, it seems like they always lock in somehow.
Yeah. What about you? What's your
Me,
top
honestly, I don't see Liverpool winning it this year just because of the few flaws that I did see already that we mentioned. Buying Isak, it's an upgrade, but they're not lacking goal scoring. They're lacking more stability in the midfield because you can't get dominated by teams like that. Who was their first game against?
For who was it?
Bournemouth. Bournemouth gave them a run for their money at home. It looked crazy. They came back and then by luck, in my opinion, by luck, they came back. They held it on and scored an extra 2 goals right at the end. Newcastle, they didn't look good. Honestly, I think Arsenal didn't attack them enough. But I really don't see them. I see them in third this year.
Okay.
First place, honestly, I think it's going to be Arsenal.
Arsenal wins the league?
Once their players come back, and if they can maintain their health, I think Arsenal wins. Their back line is pretty solid. The way I feel like them games where you can't really get a goal in, their corner kicks, their tactical set pieces is just going to push them over the edge. I feel like it's going to come down to that. Imagine they held Liverpool to 1 goal without their star players. At the end, like I said, when Eze came on, once he gets fully adapted, once Odegaard gets healthy and Saka gets healthy, I feel like it's going to be another team. Gyökeres has to just adapt a few more, but I believe they'll do it. I believe Arsenal finally turned that page and end up in first. Would I say Liverpool second?
I'm sorry, you said third.
Well, I'll give them. I'll change that to second. I think City do end up pushing through, especially with all the signings they've made. Once Rodri comes back, they still have. I hope he could get it right with Foden because he's exceptional. So I do believe he's third, and then fourth, I'll say Chelsea, just because they look great. But like I said, I want to see them win with more Champions League game on them, with a tougher schedule because they can't rest players in the Champions League. They're resting elite teams.
Right.
And
the good thing about Chelsea, they have depth.
Yeah, but everybody wants to win the Champions League, so your starters have to play in the Prem and in the Champions League for sure. You could rest them FA Cup, but...
So let's move over to La Liga. There's only really 3 teams you can really talk about in this league. There's a lot of good teams out there, but the main 3 will always be Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico de Madrid. And to start off, Atletico Madrid is not looking good whatsoever. What is going on? They've made the most signings than anyone, and they're looking the worst out of the top 3.
They look like a team that don't have DNA right now.
Could it be because of all the signings they made?
I believe so, especially Atletico has signed a lot of attacking players, and Simeone is such a defensive player.
Yeah.
Defensive managers is contradicting his game style.
He's trying to adapt to something that he's not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not an Atletico fan, but I support Simeone just because he's been there so long and he's proved it. He's lost 2 Champions League finals since he's been there, but he's really improved Atletico. They're known in Europe. They're known third place team now in Spain because of Simeone.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's the highest paid manager in the world, but he has to adapt. He has to do something, but it's hard when that's all you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's tough. And for someone to be the highest paid manager. And I feel like it's just simply because of the fact that he's been there for so long. And Atletico Madrid is such a, I don't know how to explain, but it's such a family team.
Yeah, I see what you say. They're very united.
Even more now than ever, they signed every Argentinian player on the market.
I don't even think it comes down to that. Oh, they just signed Nico Gonzalez too.
On loan, I think it was.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Still,
we'll see.
Another Argentinian to the roster.
But honestly, I don't see that team without Simeone. Once they fire him, I feel like that team goes down. If you think about Atletico, you think about Simeone. You don't even think about players really. Maybe Julian now that he's too good to be there. Maybe Griezmann, but Griezmann's dropped
a lot for him. Could it be age? You think?
Griezmann?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, nonetheless, he's one of the
to be honest,
best to do it.
I think he's focused on other things now. He has a lot of other stuff like partnerships with the NFL. He's having fun. He looks like someone who likes to have fun other than...
He's definitely reaching the latter ends of his
he's
career.
He's a great player, but
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Simeone told him, you're not going to be a starter this season.
Yeah, so...
I mean, that says a lot.
The other day, I was watching the game, and against the last game they played, who was it against? I forgot. Alaves, yeah. So he comes on, he shoots the ball, empty net, and hits the post, basically, and he just starts laughing on the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was kind of a tough shot, but...
It was a tough shot, but...
You can't really... Like, that type of player, he doesn't show determination. Like, instead of hitting your head, like...
I feel like he's always been like that, though. He's always been like that. He's a joy player.
Yeah, I guess.
I've never seen Griezmann mad. I guess you're trying to say he needs to be.
I feel like that's what he needs now, especially as an old player. If he wants to start, if he wants to play, he had the option to join the MLS this year, but he stayed an extra year.
I'm surprised he didn't take that off.
That's what I'm saying. Now that
Honestly.
your form has dropped, you have to find something inside of you to keep going. But do you see them coming up in third place this year?
They're gonna end up third place.
I don't see it. I honestly don't see it. I feel like unless Simeone finds a whole new DNA and finds a way to get to these players, he's great motivational. Like he motivates his players based off what I've seen, what I've heard in interviews and stuff from the players. But I honestly don't. I feel like there's great teams. I think Betis is pretty good this season. Villarreal, Atletico Bilbao is doing good right now, but I don't...
They're an okay team. I wouldn't hype them up too much. I mean, Betis is a good team, but I don't think... Did they start off good this season so far?
Betis right now...
I thought... Didn't they draw their last game, if I'm not mistaken?
They have 5 points, so they won 1 and drew 2. No, okay. Villarreal has 7 points out of 9, and Atletico Bilbao is in second with 3 out of 3. But back to one of the points I was making with Chelsea is that this year they're in the Champions League, and so many games piled up on top, especially when they're a Basque club that only allows Basque born into their club. You can't really go out in the market and buy what you need, so it's pretty cool, but it's tough. You can't
it's definitely cool because there's only a few teams that do that.
Yeah, you can't compete in the league and the Champions League with only a few players. They're gonna get... Unfortunately, there's injuries that happen. If they win the Prem, I mean they win the Champions League or La Liga, it'll be some like a Leicester Cinderella story. But yeah, Villarreal, they look solid. It looks like a high-powered team. Like last season, you saw it in a few games as well. They ended up dropping form somewhere mid-season, but they have some fast players, attacking players. Their style is very attacking, which I honestly like to watch, and I believe they'll do pretty good. Nicolas
Pepe. Attack as a team as well.
Yeah, they're
it's not just one player that goes up with the ball like you see Julian doing in Atletico.
I feel so bad for Julian, man. He deserves so much more. He deserves a better club.
Atletico doesn't do what they should be doing, and they don't attack from the wings. All their attacks are either out the middle from someone driving it forward, or they're attacking fullbacks, crossing it in. That's all they do. Yeah, I swear I don't see anything else from Atletico, unfortunately.
Funny thing, next game of Atletico is against Villarreal.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be good. I feel like Villarreal is gonna win. He doesn't have the players that form his DNA. Like he let go of the ball. The Paul's more of a defensive player than an attacking player.
To this day, I can't believe he left.
So Simeone isn't even gonna be able to play that defensive style, especially in the Champions League against big teams, because
now you have to depend on what's his name, Barrios.
Yeah,
you have to depend on Barrios. I'm not saying he's bad, but
they still have Koke. But he's 30 something
he's on
years old. He's on
as well.
Thiago Almada, which is pretty good.
Unfortunately, he hasn't started off to the best of starts, but they also signed their new number 10. What's his name? Baena?
Baena, yep.
Yeah.
Now Nico Gonzalez. So I guess we'll see how they end up. But I really do think Villarreal ends up in third. I don't see Atletico. Maybe they end up in fourth. Well, I do see them in fourth just because of the players they got. I feel like they'll end up pushing through, making a Champions League spot, but I don't see them competing for the league as they usually do. At least at a certain part of the season, they always compete until like the last 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah.
But I don't see them making a stretch at all this year. Top two.
Let's start off with.
Who do you think is gonna win it?
I mean, in my opinion, Barcelona's gonna win the league.
And
I
what-
know. Right now they're not off to the best of starts, and it could be an ego thing.
You think so?
It could be.
What Flick said? You believe that? Well, we'll throw it a little bit more back. We were gonna discuss the top two.
Yeah.
So you said you believe Barca is gonna end up in first place, but you do think they're having a rough start due to the
ego problem.
So what do you think the ego problem is?
I think considering the fact that the team is really young, and coming from the fact that they're arguably one of the best teams in Europe at the moment, and the fact that they won La Liga already.
But when you look at that dressing room, who do you look at as the ego problem? Because when I look at it, it's just one young player, which is Lamine. And the other ego, I would say, is Rafinha, because he did seem like he had problems with being substituted last game.
It's just hard to say. It's just because it's just a rough start, and for the coach himself to come out and say it's an ego problem, is because I feel like there's not enough intensity at the moment being put into the matches. I feel like because Barcelona's champions, they might look at these teams right now and be like, we're the champions. This should be an easy win, and then having to struggle to actually win the game. You know, considering the fact it's they got 2 wins, 1 draw.
Yep.
To start off, so it's not a bad start, but considering the fact that they're top 2, top 3 of La Liga, it's kind of hard whenever one of them loses a game because it gives such an advantage to the next.
What do you think about?
They'll pick up.
What do you think about Madrid?
Madrid is, again, I mean, they got 3 wins, but when you actually watch the games, it doesn't. The results say it, but the way the match is being played doesn't say that they're up to what they should be, their standards. Because, I mean, they got Mbappe. And Mbappe's going to score regardless. He is a natural born goal scorer, you know. It's in his DNA. It's just, I don't know if the rest of the team just has to pick up the pace or what's going on. Is it because it's like a new defensive line and new formation, new coach? Could it be that? Because they could do better. They could do better.
What do you think was the issue last year? Honestly, I think Madrid are still missing a midfielder, I would say, attacking midfielder, a creator. Toni Kroos, after he left, that midfield hasn't been the same, but I do see them being a bit better than last year, especially with all the new signings. That defense it still looks shaky, but it looks better.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do see Madrid being a bit better than last season, but I still think they're missing something. What I do like about Xabi Alonso, though, is that he's not scared to take the big names out. He's taken out Vinny. He's taken out Rodrigo, which he hasn't been using him much, but he uses everybody and takes out everybody. So that's a plus. Ancelotti, he
just threw out the big players and like, y'all figure it out.
Yeah,
y'all figure it out. Just go out there, have fun.
Yeah, I think this is Barcelona's league to lose. As the champions, it comes up to little moments. And Madrid, when you have great players the way they have, honestly, they could come out with a great season, especially in La Liga, especially against low block teams. When you have that much attacking power, it could really push it. I feel like it's gonna be a closer title season than it was last year, but it'll come down to small details.
Considering their start at their first game against Osasuna was barely a 1-0, and then the next game was against Real Oviedo, so it not that much of a challenge, but. So it was an easy 3-0, but and then you got Mallorca, it's a 2-1 win as well.
But they had their scares in both.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just it's hard to just view the team. Honestly, you have 3 star left wingers that all play for Real Madrid. They still don't have that clinical number 9 striker, which in my opinion, I think it should be that kid from their cantera.
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo, that's his name? Yeah, well, him. The way that kid performed in the Club World Cup, I think he should be given a real shot. I'm guessing it's hard to bench Rodrigo. Just imagine benching Vini, imagine benching Mbappe, especially not Mbappe. Mbappe's not getting benched at all this season. So this La Liga season is definitely going to be one to watch. Unfortunately, with the whole La Liga financial fair play and all that, a lot of the smaller teams or the lower teams, they had to make a lot of risks just to even stay in the league. So yeah. It's a hard season just to start off with for every team.
No, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but
just not for Atletico because they spent everything already.
And still looking terrible.
And still okay. So you got Madrid winning.
No, I got Barca winning. Based off my take is that Barca's league to lose, like.
Yeah. As reigning champions.
And the way they have us accustomed to this past year, they're playing great attack play. Like you might score one goal on them or two, but it's almost certain that they're gonna have at least 5 clear chances of a goal scoring opportunity. So they're gonna put one past the net. But it comes down to, especially this last game, where the pitch was so small that it's against their favor, and they don't really do well against low block teams. Yeah. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what's going to cost them. But as well, they haven't had Lewandowski, which is...
And the high line without Inigo Martinez.
Yeah, the defense kind of looks shaky, yeah. I think it's going to come down to simple mistakes. Like I said, I feel like it's going to be like a 2-game, maybe 1-game difference this year. Maybe 3 points. Yeah. Maybe the Clásicos decided this year. But I do feel like it's going to be a way closer title race than last year.
Even with Real Madrid struggling last season, they were still almost about to win the whole thing.
It was a crazy season because Barca was up 10 points. Then they were down by 12 in December?
Yeah.
And then they came back. And Atletico was close the whole time, and then they just fell off after that Champions League exit.
Yeah, let's not get into that one. So I guess we move on to the Serie A. I'm going to just throw it out there. I think Napoli wins again. I don't see anyone competing with them, unfortunately.
Inter looks nice, though.
Inter has always looked nice. That's the thing. But there's always so many fights in the dressing room for Inter.
But I feel like they came over that, especially after what Lautaro said about Çalhanoğlu, about how he didn't want to play, how he was going to move. And then they resolved it, and they've been looking good ever since.
I feel like the main downfall that Napoli has right now is the fact that Lukaku's injured, and they were rumored to get Jamie Vardy as a replacement. I don't know if that ever went through or not.
They ended up signing somebody else.
I mean, Napoli have gone on to a somewhat strong start, I guess you could say. It wasn't against any big names, but they are 2 games, 2 wins.
They actually look really good, especially that midfield duo, De Bruyne and McTominay, the 2 Manchester Cities. The Manchester City and Man United, Manchester boys.
Going back to what you said about Inter, though. Inter have 1 win, 1 loss, if I'm not mistaken. They lost to Udinese. Yeah.
2-1.
So it's already looking shaky. But season just started. A lot of things could change right now. Also got AC Milan, but I honestly don't see.
I thought Milan was going to honestly do better, especially after signing Modric, a player with that
much quality.
Yeah, well, not even quality because he is on the older side, but somebody who gives you a different dimension of the game.
The quality is always going to be there.
Yeah, but it's a tougher league. Well, it's more physical, but I feel like it's slower league as well, so it might benefit him. They're just starting off. I feel like they're very immature, especially when their star player Leao, and he seems sometimes like he doesn't want to be there or doesn't want to play.
AC Milan is also on a 1 win, 1 loss at the moment as well. Yeah, Juventus 2 games, 2 wins as well. They won against Parma and Genoa. I wouldn't say it's gonna be that interesting compared to last season. Last season was actually pretty interesting. Napoli and Inter fighting it out.
Serie A always has some nice surprises. I feel like even the mid-table teams push for the... There's no real mid-table teams over there. They all push for the Champions League at some point, especially how defensive they are. Is anybody's league to win, honestly. Of course, the 2 favorites are Napoli and Inter. I honestly think Inter's going to take it just because of the high level they showed in the at the end of the season. I feel like Napoli, they're dependent, especially with De Bruyne and letting go of Kawara. He still ended up doing a good thing halfway last season.
He still got both medals.
Injuries and stuff is gonna pile up because De Bruyne. Hopefully he doesn't get injured as much because when he's on the pitch, he seems influential every time.
I don't think Napoli's gonna depend that much on De Bruyne.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely takes off a lot of weight off his shoulders for sure. Okay, so Inter and Napoli.
Yep.
So we got Bundesliga now. There ain't nothing to talk about in this league. Bayern's winning it.
Just talk about
Bayern's winning it.
how good their wings are.
Their front three
It's crazy.
it looks so deadly,
It
dude.
looks like Diaz came back to life. He wasn't looking good at Liverpool the last few
Yeah,
seasons.
but you compare Premier League with Bundesliga.
But at the end of the day, he seems joyful. You know, it's tough to take the joy off a player at Liverpool. Even though he was winning, he didn't seem like he was playing for fun. You see him at the national team as well.
He is a baller in the national team.
He seems like a totally different player. It's like they didn't enjoy the league or the cold. It's something.
I'm not gonna say it's hard to enjoy the Premier League, but the Premier League is just so demanding.
Yeah, it's physical, real physical.
Yeah, I mean, look at Harry Kane.
I mean, it's faster and physical because the German league is physical as well.
Very physical.
But especially with a team with like Bayern, you have so much
Very
talent.
dominant team.
Like they're almost like practice games every
week.
But yeah, him and Olise are killing it right now.
Harry Kane as their striker.
That's the difference. I feel like now as well. That's why Diaz looks more joyful. Kane is the type of striker that's gonna provide assists for you. Comparing to Liverpool, he was playing. Unfortunately, Darwin wasn't the greatest, and then he was playing for Salah. He had to give. It seemed like they were force feeding Salah at one point in the season.
I mean, last season, or at least the last 2 seasons for Liverpool, it seemed like it was just Salah this, Salah that. I mean, no wonder he breaks so many records. I mean, you just handle the ball. I don't see any team competing with Bayern in the Bundesliga.
No, yeah, that's...
Because Bayer Leverkusen had a shot last season, and they won it the season prior to that.
Yep.
But now the whole team is just gone.
They ended up firing Ten Hag after 2
2
games.
games?
Well, a couple games because they lost the...
Preseason stuff?
The preseason. They looked terrible.
I mean, they lost half their team.
Especially, it was crazy to me that how they signed Lucas Vasquez without his consent. And he announced that after. Like, what starts bad ends up worse, basically, in that aspect.
Is there any hope for Leverkusen? Because I don't see it. I think they're going to be going back to being...
I feel like they might make a push.
They're going to be like...
to like Champions League, team. Europa League, but I don't see them.
It feels kind of like... No, I'm not even going to say it kind of feels like Borussia Dortmund, because Borussia Dortmund, although they're not as good as they used to be, it's just because they perform in the Champions League, but that's it.
Girassi is still balling it up, natural goal scorer.
But, I mean, Borussia Dortmund already starting off, 1 win and 1 draw.
Yeah, 4 points, but it's just a young season, a lot to go. But yeah, there's no...
Is Borussia Dortmund ever going to be a contender for the Bundesliga again?
Especially with the way the market is now. I don't see it. They have to spend big.
The thing is, Dortmund has never been a team to spend.
Yeah, but they got these great talents like Lewandowski, Götze, Royce. When they did, and play like that was affordable back then. Now all these small teams want 50 plus, 60 plus for these players, and
unless you're Barcelona.
And then Bayern is easily buying those because Bayern never really spends big either.
No, yeah, they really don't.
So they're buying all these small,
and Bayern's really small
upcoming players, and they're just dominating.
To end off with the top 5, we're gonna end it up with League and PSG is gonna win.
That's even worse. We don't talk about that.
How are they top 5? League in Europe? You would think the Portuguese league is a bit more.
Yeah, nah, it's PSG that's been big. They win.
Yeah,
but Luis Enrique has them playing great ball. They're undefeated and they're a high scoring team. I don't see nobody competing with them. I feel like they're gonna, especially after so many games, they barely got any rest after the Club World Cup.
And then the actual league actually helps them out when it comes to Champions League games.
Especially, like I said, after the long Club World Cup, after the Champions League final, they have very tough games in the Champions League. So I feel like it all adds up. But I feel like they'll end up coasting again. Back to what they usually do. Dominate that league. Then their players are going to get a rest. And they're going to make a push for the Champions League again because Luis Enrique is a tactical master.
I guess that wraps it up right there.
Yeah, sorry for the little moments.
The little mishaps.
Yeah. But, yeah, just like, subscribe, comment.
Let us know what to talk about in the next one. Let us know what we can improve in.
See you next time.
Yep. See you.